I have a few this morning. I have Michael Jackson to review.
Let me grab that one for you first. What's in that? Okay. I got Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson? Except for a show cause, it looks like.
I saw him on here, Judge. I don't see him now, though. I don't know if he got shuffled into a back room or. I did see him earlier.
Find out. Okay, let me just grab him.
The matters of Michael Saldana. Case numbers 20-00163 as well as 22-00070. Breaking the for people.
And Assistant Public Defender Jay Bellinger on behalf of Mr. Saldana, who appears via Zoom from the jail. Mr. Saldana, can you please state your name for the record?
Michael Saldana.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I was able to speak with Mr. Saldana yesterday. It's my understanding today that we're here for probation violation hearing. With regard to the probation violations, it's my understanding that Mr. Saldana will be putting in a guilty. He'll be pleading responsible to those.
Mr. Saldana, we've been here before, so I think you know the feel, but I have to give it to you anyway. You have a right to have a hearing on these violations. And I'm trying to go back and figure out where we are with them because at one point you were supposed to do 10 days for a violation. Did you ever do that initial 10 days?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Honor.
Yes.
I did just send my report. I just finished it. I apologize for that. To counsel and to Ms. Ball, if you want a copy of the details in my recommendation, or I can verbally give it to you.
All right, one moment. I think it's printing. No, it's not scanning. It's scanning. It'll take a minute before it finishes its scan so I can print it out. If you want to begin, you can with the verbal.
Okay, so the violation was originally requested for failure to download the Scram tether, failure to drug test as ordered, failure to comply with anger management, and failure to report change of address. He did not, at the time of the violation, he did not download his Scram tether for over a month. He has since downloaded the Scram tether. He is supposed to be testing 2 times per month, which Community Corrections is aware of, and they have on file, but he has not tested since May of this year. So I'm not sure exactly why that's happening. He had called me some time ago to get back in compliance with his anger management program, left me a voicemail. I've tried to contact him several times since then. I haven't had any success with that. So he still has not re-enrolled in that program. He has not reported to me for some time, has not let me know his change of address. He is on probation with 16th District Court in Macomb. I spoke with that agent. He's not compliant there either. She did say that he told her he had moved and had new contact information, but he did not update that with her or with myself.
Thank you. So, Mr. Saldana, as you just heard, the allegations are and this is the September 27th report is what you're referring to, correct, Ms. Straub?
From Community Corrections for his tether?
No, the request was made on September 27th.
Oh, yes. Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So, sir,
Yes.
your formal arraignment is that you failed to download your Scram tether as of September 27th, 2023. You failed to drug test as ordered. You failed to comply with the anger management program as ordered, and you failed to report your change of address to the probation department. Those are all technical violations.
Yes, Your Honor, I understand. And my defense, I was terrified to contact anybody.
Sir,
We
sir,
can,
sir.
we can go over that shortly after we get a plea in, Mr. Saldana, with an explanation.
All right. I need to finish actually explaining to you your
Pardon me,
right.
Your Honor.
Okay. It wasn't you. He interrupted me. what I was saying to you, sir, is you have a right to have a hearing in this matter, at which time, if it is found that you did violate the terms of your probation, or you admit to violate in terms of your probation, because this is a technical violation, you could be subjected to a maximum penalty of, in one case number 22-00070, of up to 15 days in the Washtenaw County Jail. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Now, it is my understanding that you intend to waive your right to have the hearing and admit guilt to the violation. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Please raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You may lower your hand. So you failed to download the Scram as of September 27th?
That is true.
Failed to drug test as ordered?
At that, I was not aware of that I had a drug test, but yeah, I believe that is true.
Sir,
I-
I told you myself you had the drug test.
You told me I had a drug test and I failed to appear?
That's correct. When I put you on probation, I told you you had the drug test. When you were found guilty, you knew you had the drug test. That is one of the main things you've ever had to do, is to test.
Okay.
Do you admit?
Do I admit that I missed the test? And yes, Your Honor, I missed.
Do you,
I was
Okay.
told by my tether agent that I did not have to do any more testing,
Mr.
and I was not
Mr.
requested.
Saldana, we'll have an opportunity to explain afterwards, okay?
Yes, sir.
Do you also acknowledge that you failed to comply with the anger management program?
Yes, ma'am.
And you failed to report your change of address?
Yes and no, ma'am. Damn, that's not a good answer. Yes, ma'am, I failed to give the address change, but at the time I wasn't 100% sure that the address change was effective. You know, like I was for sure moving.
I see. Okay. I find that there's a knowing and willing admission to the violation of the probation as to the download of the Scram, to the drug testing, comply with anger management. Are you satisfied, Ms. McDuffie? It's wrong.
Satisfied, Your Honor.
Thank you. Now you can tell me whatever you want to tell me about those things, sir, because when you were here on March 21st, 2023, we had the same conversation pretty much, where you were failing to report, failing to comply with the alcohol tether at that time, and you had tested positive for codeine, it looks like. And then you failed to report for over 30 days. I gave you 10 days jail and continued you on your probation, which included the reporting and all of that. And I hear that from the scrub, she's basically indicating maybe there was some issue with community corrections understanding the testing schedule. So I'm not sure about that piece, but you should have contacted your probation agent, who would have explained what was going on at the time.
That is true, Your Honor. We should have contacted, but at the time there was a lot happening to me. I just got a job that I was getting paid good money, which caused me to miss the anger management classes, be late for those classes a few times. I was so excited to have a job, Your Honor. I haven't had one in 2 years, and I was so anxious to get these tickets and debts paid. I put the job in front of my obligations towards the court, and I apologize for that. And that's what happened with the anger management class. Now, I was able to save up a bunch of money during this time to pay off these tickets and fines and fees, over $800. At the time, I was working so much, my phone was stolen. My sister moved from Tennessee to Michigan, which she is a severe drunk, and I just couldn't be around her. So I had to leave my residence at the time, which was at my mother's house in Taylor, to my grandmother's in Ipsy. Which then I had to forfeit a vehicle that my mother was allowing me and my fiance to use at the time for work and everything, and to get back and forth from downloads and drug testing and everything. And I had to drive one of my own vehicle, which I know better, I shouldn't have, but then I got a ticket for driving while license suspended, which then I was so terrified for my freedom that I didn't know what to do. I started to panic because of everything was just collapsing on me. I missed my classes. I was going through this personal ordeal with my sister at home. I was going through with this job that I'm just trying to get things paid for this court, for my child support, for my tickets, fees and stuff to get my driver's license back. And everything just started to collapse on me, and I felt overwhelmed, and I was just full of fear that the moment I contacted somebody, I was going to get SWAT team brought on me. And I don't know. It's a stupid thing to say when I say it out loud, but
Your
I was
Honor,
afraid.
we have been able to talk to. He does advise that above all else, when it came to failing his obligations with Ms. Straub in this probation in this court, fear above all else was what was a prohibitive factor for him to get back on track. We have had a long conversation about that yesterday when I went to see him. He appreciates that the court must take priority. He appreciates that he needs to give me a call or his attorney a call, whomever, whenever that person is available, so that he can, not having a phone is not an exception. Finding a phone and doing what you need to do in order to alleviate the burden on yourself and to satisfy probation is what we talked about first and foremost. He understands and appreciates that. I understand that there's a recommendation here for a total of 15 days in jail with credit for 8, as far as I can see on the recommendations from Ms. Straub. I would ask, Your Honor, it sounds like he is gainfully employed at this point. He has 2 employers, both of whom really want him back at work. He does home repair and maintenance. He has been in over a week at this point. I think today would be the 9th day, and we would ask that the court give him time served on this, so that he can get back in touch with Ms. Straub. He understands that that's his top priority. He advised me yesterday that he'd be able to do that first thing in meeting with her, should he be let out of jail. I think one of his biggest concerns right now is the tether, because that is a continued burden for him and accruing cost to that effect. But otherwise, we would just ask for time served on this and ask for some mercy from the court so that we can get him situated back where he needs to be.
Thank you. Well, I guess I'll go to you, Ms. McDuffie.
Your Honor, I see that this is an OWR related case. I'm just trying to check the file really quickly to see if the nature of it with alcohol, drugs, or a combination of both. Because I'm a little bit confused about it looks like there was alcohol in the open intox in this case, but there's apparently a drug issue in effect as well, because Mr. Saldana, he indicated that he didn't know that he was supposed to test, but one of the attachments that Ms. Straub sent us was a report with 3 positive amphetamine results from April 20th, April 26th, and May 8th. And then he completely stopped testing after that. And that's after his scram was ordered. So he knew he was supposed to test because he was testing and had positive results there. So I understand that he's saying that he essentially just got overwhelmed and deprioritized some of these requirements, but I'm concerned because it looks like this underlying case didn't even involve drugs, but they were showing up here. So now there's like an additional layer of concern. I don't know what the results of the Scram Tether were once he did show up to get those downloaded at some point. That would affect my feelings about him needing to continue that. But honestly, he should probably be monitored regardless in some way because of the absence. We just don't know what's been going on. And there's multiple probations that he has not been compliant with. I appreciate all these things are going on in his life at the same time, and he deprioritized with multiple courts. But the recommendation I think is appropriate. He served 8 days. I don't think that the remainder of that would be excessive at this point. There is a history of failing to appear, it looks like, prior to him coming before the court in March and all these issues being addressed. So, Mr. Saldana, I don't think we're in a good spot right now to necessarily take him at his word that everything's okay and he's on the right track. Should he be released today, I think that he should serve the rest of the recommended term. I do hope that his employers, who have been understanding, I guess, thus far, will understand he has a few more days if the court does enforce those. But I would want to see him continue some sort of regular alcohol testing and obviously resume drug testing as well. I don't know if the amphetamine results were a previous violation that he already admitted to or not. I'm curious about those two.
Your Honor, may I speak?
Not yet, sir.
Okay.
What was your question before Mr. Saldana interrupted a second person here today?
I wasn't sure if those amphetamine positive results from April and May were something that he had already been arraigned or pled to.
He has.
Okay.
All right. Ms. Straub, since he has downloaded now, what does it show?
He's compliant with his Scram Tether at this time. I don't have any information on any kind of violation.
All right. And what's the time period that we're looking at in terms of those downloads?
Let me pull it up here. It is. Sorry, Your Honor, 1 second.
You're fine.
So he had last reported to Agent Casey for a download on August 18th. And then he did not report again until after the 27th. I'm not sure exactly what day it is, but I know it was between the 27th and October 9th when he was brought into custody. But he has not had a violation for that entire month.
Okay, thank you. So, Mr. Saldana, you spoke for quite a little while ago. But I will let you add something briefly in terms of what you want to say here today, sir.
Yes, I am prescribed amphetamines, Your Honor, Adderall. I've been prescribed Adderall since I was 12 years old. So I should have positive test readings for amphetamines the whole time I've been drug testing. And I'm willing, if it's okay with the court and with you, Your Honor, I will do double drug testing a week, twice a week if I have to release the strain or the distrust the court might have in my abilities to stay clean and to be to court on time every time and to do my downloads, whatever the case may be. I'll double the drug testing. This tether thing on me is a big toll. It has been for a long time, and I don't drink. When I had this put on at the time, I wasn't even drinking, Your Honor. I was under influence of other drugs. And at this moment in my life, Your Honor, I just want to focus on getting out of the hole I'm in. I want to pay my fees and my tickets. I want to get my driver's license. I want my life back. I have finally got a job that I'm good at, that they want me to be there, and I'm going to make a lot of good money with them. It's a perfect opportunity for me to be able to pay off all my fees and pay all my tickets and pay my child support and be there for my children. I want to be a good father. It's just every time I turn around, I keep falling in another hole. I keep getting dragged back down in it, and it's very difficult, Your Honor, to pull myself out of this. And I'm just asking for a little bit of help from the court and from you, from anybody that's listening, to just please hear me and believe that I'm doing my best, and I'm going to keep doing my best, not just for me, but for my kids.
All right, Mr. Saldana, I have a serious issue with the fact that one, you've been missing for quite some time now, and then when you do show up, the first thing you ask to have your tether removed. And while you're in custody, I don't think you fully understand the potential ramifications here. So that's a problem for me. I'm not asking you to say anything. I'm speaking now. And you had a positive alcohol test. It's been a long, long time ago. But when you were first, so this charge here is operating while intoxicated. And I believe that the prosecutor just said it did involve some alcohol. Is that correct, Ms.
Yes,
McDuffie?
open and talk as well. Yes.
You had open intox in a motor vehicle and you were drinking at the time. Then in October 21st, October 12th of 2021, which was some 2 years after this event, you tested positive for alcohol, although you were not supposed to have alcohol in your system. So you tell me there's no problem with alcohol. Maybe not anymore. Maybe because you've been on scram for a long time, but you had a problem with alcohol because
Yes, Your
you were
Honor.
still using it. And you're going to continue to test until the court finds that you don't need to do that anymore. That's the negative part of what I have to say about what's going on here, Mr. Saldana. The positive is this. You and I have been doing this for a while. You did have a time period where you weren't showing up. We had a bench trial, and I think I got to understand the family dynamics a little bit better in terms of what was happening. And I remember the whole situation with the sister, and that's how all this arose in the first place between you and your daughter and how you got here. So, I think that you have been working hard to some degree. And it sounds like you did get overwhelmed by what was going on. But you chose to not do the adult thing, which was to at least just pick up the phone call and call your probation agent who could have cleared up at least some of these things at the time. When you were reporting, you were doing well. And maybe having a job got you sort of turned around in terms of what to do. I'm pleased to hear that you didn't have any alcohol violations at all during that time period. It says something about where you are in this process. I was looking back briefly, but there are a lot of documents here I don't see in the file where you've ever provided a prescription for Nialorol to community corrections, so that would show it's something that you should be having in your system. And when I look back and see your tests, I only see a few tests that actually have it in there. So I'm not sure if you're taking your medication as you're supposed to be taking it. Having said all that, these are technical violations. And as I see the recommendations, the highest recommendation is for 10 days. They're not consecutive. They don't get stacked. Just for everyone else's information, these are concurrent sentences. So if the recommendation is 10 and 5, then the max is 10. So I am going to sentence you to the 10 days in the Washington County Jail, credit for the 8 days that you've served. They will probably let you out today or tomorrow. So
very much.
you're welcome. And you are reinstated on your probation. You do need to test.
Yes.
As ordered to test. I believe that it is going to go back to the 2 times per month. Is that correct, Ms. Stroud?
You want him back on the 2 times per month, Your Honor?
Is that what he was doing? Is that what you're requesting?
He was supposed to be doing 2 times per month, yes.
Yeah. You need to report to community corrections for the testing and re-enroll in anger management within 24 hours of release from custody. If you do not test or re-enroll, then this will be your third violation, and I believe at that time, you can get the maximum penalties in this case.
Yes, Your Honor. To re-enroll in my anger management, I have to have a referral from Robert Brown to do so. I went up there and attempted to speak to him a couple times to do that, but he wasn't available at the office.
Probation will ensure that you have the proper documentation for that, sir.
Okay, thank you.
And you need to contact your probation agent within 48 hours of release from custody. If we don't hear from you in 48 hours, then a bench warrant will issue, and then we will not be talking anymore about you trying to do the right thing, because at that point I will know you're not. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
#21 CR 11490, State of Texas versus LaQuinn Hyson. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Brian Grimmer for the state of Texas.
for the defense?
Michael J. Sawyer.
And are you Mr. Hyson?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you entered a plea of no contest on April 18th and applied for deferred adjudication. The state is recommending deferred adjudication according to the plea bargain agreement. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. And they requested your community supervision be for a term of 7 years. And there's no contact with Elijah Pettis. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report, state?
Yes, Judge.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections to the PSI report, state?
None, Judge.
Defense? All right. Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Well, as my client wants to address the court on that issue, he knows it's a recommended deferred. We want to make a statement to the court about the mistake he's made, has affected his wife and his mom, actually his grandmother.
All right, if you could raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record, please.
LaQuinn Hyson.
All right, Mr. Hyson, there's something you wanted to say to the court?
LaQuinn, where were you the day you got arrested?
I was in school in class,
And what grade were you in?
senior in high school.
And in fact, you spent your senior year in high school sitting in a Bexar County jail, have you not?
Yes, sir.
And if you would, you want to tell the judge how this affected your life, your plans, the changes you plan to make, and who you want to help.
It affected my life greatly because I want to obviously get my education, do the right thing, try to get my diploma for my family. And I wanted to change after this situation passes, so I could help my grandma work to pay the bills, and so she can stop working, and so just to take care of me and herself.
So it's been your grandmother as a person supporting you and taking care of you and keeping you in school.
Yes, sir.
And your plans are to finish school, continue your education, and help out your grandmother.
Yes, sir.
Is that what you want to tell the judge today? That's all I have, Judge. Thank you.
All right, anything from the state?
Nothing from the state, Judge. It's a recommendation.
So what are you planning on doing with the rest of your life?
Well, when I get out, I was going to try to go back to school and see where that goes with. And then I was going to try to just get on my feet, start a factory job. Maybe later on in life, try to do truck driving, make some money, help my grandma.
All right, so does your grandmother want you living with her?
Yes, ma'am.
Why didn't you live with her before?
Can you repeat that now?
Why didn't you live with her before? I read the PSI report where you were staying with your brother. Your brother was kicked out or evicted and you had no place to stay. So my question is, why didn't you immediately go to your grandmother's home?
Well, we was there and then he got kicked out and then he had nowhere to go. And then so I brought him over there and then we was having some issues with my grandma and I didn't want to leave my brother hanging, so I left the boy.
How old is your brother?
He's 19. Well, he just turned 20 this year, man.
All right. So what issues were you having with your grandmother?
We were just arguing about him having a place to stay. She didn't want him in the house. And
Why didn't she want him in the house?
I don't know on that behalf.
I mean, there has to be a reason. Is she, his biological grandmother?
Yes, ma'am.
So we're back to why would your grandmother be okay for you to live with her, but not your brother?
I don't know if they probably have issues. I don't know.
All right, so here's the thing. You gotta be honest with me with issues, because this is what I've discovered in my lifetime. When people have problems with their grandparents and staying with them, because grandparents love their grandchildren, usually it's because their grandchildren won't follow the rules.
Yes, ma'am.
And what I've noticed is you live with your grandmother has certain rules. Maybe she wants the television off at 10 p.m. Guess what? You're living with your grandmother, so the television needs to be off at 10 p.m. Maybe she wants to give a curfew, and your curfew is 9:30, but you want to say, I'm grown, I can do what I want to. And I'm telling you what I tell everybody else here. I don't care if you're 50 or 100. If you live in someone else's home, then their rules go. And until you have your own place to stay, technically, you're not an adult and you're not the captain of your own ship. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So when your grandmother has rules, you have to follow them. And I know now everybody has a dishwasher, but when we were growing up, my grandmother would tell anyone who's lived with her, you need to wash dishes. And when people would call the house for my uncles wanting a date, when girls would call, she would tell them, you need to be at home doing your mom's dishes instead of calling my house after hours. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm telling you, I'm going to grant your application for deferred education because that's the agreement. But here's the thing. You're going to live with your grandmother. You're not bringing girls over to our house because you're not ready for a relationship. And I'm going to give you my relationship speech, even though it doesn't appear that you have been in a violent relationship, but you need this because you need to mature. And this is the thing, you get an orchid with your first paycheck. Orchids are inexpensive. And I think they have them inexpensive because they know they're going to die. And they think that people are just going to come back and get more and more. You can get an orchid from Walmart, H-E-B, any of these other places. And usually their most expensive is probably, I see them as high as $10.98. You get that orchid, and when you get it from the store, it's going to be beautiful. The blooms are going to be there. They have it in purple, white with a little yellow. They even have pink ones. Pick whatever color you want. I like purple the best myself. Take that orchid home, read the instructions, take care of it. Those flowers are going to fall off. The petals are going to drop. You're just going to be with the stem, and you're going to be praying and wondering, when is this going to bloom again? Well, you will be ready for a relationship once that orchid blooms again. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So what are you going to do about your education? Because you need to graduate.
Well, I'm gonna see if I can roll back into school, and if push come to shove, I'll just try to get my GED.
All right. So I'm going to sentence you to 7 years deferred adjudication. There's a $1,500 fine. That will be probated. There's to be no contact with Elijah Perez. And I want it noted on the record that I did read the PSI report, and the complainant wants you to have probation. I think that would be a good thing for you. And they're saying that they didn't want you to spend more time in jail than you needed to be. So you should be thanking the complainant, but you can't. There's no contact. All right, there is to be 200 hours of community service restitution. 40 of those hours to be waived if you provide proof of the COVID vaccination. The court is not requiring you to get the COVID vaccination, but if you do, 40 of those hours will be waived. The remaining community service restitution hours will be waived if he provides proof of his GED or high school diploma. Or if you get your CDL license and start doing regular UAs. And I'm going to want field visits 2 times per month. And let's do random. And we're gonna do that for 6 months to see how he's doing. And if he's doing well, then we'll drop it down to 1 time per month. And what is your grandmother's name?
Michelle Heisen.
All right, and defendant is to reside with his grandmother, Michelle Heisen. And here's the thing, if something ends up going wrong at the household, which means you're not following the rules, and you get kicked out, you need to immediately notify probation,
Yes, ma'am.
all right? And I'm gonna give him a curfew of 7 PM. Now, if you're employed or if you are in school taking your GED and you provide proof of that, then that can be extended just for that. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And council, we can always revisit the curfew.
Yes, Your Honor.
Probation, is there anything else he needs?
No, Your Honor.
Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, ma'am.
Judge, you didn't ask me to inquire of the court if probation can help him with some job counseling and finding a job while he's going to school.
All right, probation, will you help with that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so they will help you with that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargaining agreement, and because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a question of what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to your attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Heisen, good luck to you. And my experience as a defense attorney and a prosecutor, people are happy to get out of the Bear County Jail. And they say that they're gonna do everything and they're gonna follow through. And then once they get out of Bear County Jail, they lose their mind and just wanna be free. Don't do that. You know what your range of punishment is if a motion to revoke is filed and you're revoked? Life. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so from here on out, anything that you do, you need to ask yourself, could this potentially, this decision I'm making and the action I'm taking with it, could this potentially result in me going to prison for life? You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Every single thing that you do, when you get up in the morning and you don't want to go to work or do something and you're laying in bed, you need to ask yourself, could this potentially result in me going to prison for life? If you're around somebody and they want to, hey, you want some of this marijuana? You need to ask yourself, could this potentially result in me going to prison for life? And is it worth it? You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. Probation is going to go over conditions with you. How are you going to do that? Because he's in custody.
If he can just wait in the box, someone will come through and do everything.
All right, someone's going to come over and go over conditions with you. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Sawyer. It's always a pleasure seeing you.
I have one more yet.
Okay.